a dope. Is Good Kid, Mad City a classic, or is it simply overhyped? Let's go. Hold on, let me tell the people. All right. Now, I want to be fair when I talk about this record because I only listened to it once. Okay? That's a very important variable, and I don't want anybody to get it mistaken like I've sat with it a zillion times. I listened to the record once today. And first of all, generally speaking, especially if the person who says this is like over the age of 25, the only way that you sit down with the record, listen to it just one time, and really say that it is a classic is if you walked into it wanting it to be a classic and you heard it and you liked it. That's the only way that you're going to walk into a record, listen to it one time, or listen to it for a couple of days and say it's a classic. Because all you jokers talking about that Nas Life is Good as a classic. When's the last time you listened to it? Like, I still give it some burn every now and then, but I don't think you're going to be listening to Life is Good 6-7 years from now. You know, like you'll go back and be like, oh yeah, that was dope. But classic is a completely different thing. I don't think you have that there. And I sure as hell don't think you have it here. At least not right now. At least not after one listen. Like, if you're going to tell me that this Kendrick Lamar record is a classic after one listen, I'm going to need a better explanation of what the replay value of this is really going to be. Because here's what I thought about when I listened to it after finding out this whole story component. It reminded me in that regard a lot of Lupe Fiasco's The Cool. Like, I think that was a really dope record. I listened to it like the first couple times I listened to it. I thought it was really good, and then this idea that it was like operatic and they were working this story all the way through was fantastic. Man, I ain't listened to that record since. It's not bad, you know? But I ain't listened to it since. I'm not, right? Like, when people tell me that somebody's put together this album and it's a story all the way through, nothing makes me roll my eyes faster. Not to say that I'm not impressed by somebody's ability to weave a story in that way, but yo, I'm not really coming in here to do this much work, number one. And number two, serious question. Everybody raise your hand if you knew that that record was structured as a story without reading it somewhere first. Like, if you're going to tell me it's a story, I mean, I don't like listening to music like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to sit here and study and follow along. I want this music to snatch me. I want this music to grab me. And yo, dude can rap. There's no question. He can rap his ass off and he can write. I mean, like, it's technically a fantastic record from what I can tell. The beats are strong. You know, it's a modern record in terms of beats, which for me is like blessing and curse. And that's, I mean, cats are doing a lot of really cool things with beats. They're doing a lot of interesting things right now with beats. They're doing a lot of really good things right now with beats. But there's something about old school snares that is gone. And you go back and listen to a record from like 10 years ago, which is like the end of those snares, and you get what I'm talking about. Like, you listen to Scarface's The Fix. You hear that push and pull off the snares. You don't get push and pull off the snares in drums that you hear as much now. You don't. But that's the thing. It's a really good record. But sit your ass down talking this classic shit, man. You must be ridiculous. How let me and you still listen to that record in a month, which is not a guarantee. You know, been talking this bullshit about classic. Somebody with potential classic based on lyricism. Yo, man. I mean, that's a lot of work that you're talking about here. And I was talking to somebody on Twitter about this today, and he was like, the thing about this record is that it doesn't grab you. Like, I can see how I could listen to this record a lot over time, and then it would get me, you know? And that's not to say it's not dope. And I've made the same criticism of Big Crit's Live from the Underground, that you sit with it for a long time, and it really gets you, and you really feel it on that aesthetic level. But when you're talking about a classic, to me, a classic snatches you up. It grabs you. Like, it might not grab you that first time, but like that second or third time you listen to that shit snatches you up. Like, you in it. Soon as you drop it, it's like, oh, shit. That is not what this record is. At least that's not what this record is for me. This record is to sit in, kind of kick it, and see where it goes. But if you say this is a classic after 5 or 10 listens, shut up. Like, shut your ass up. That's ridiculous. See where it goes. We're going to see. But it led me, listening to that record, to say something I never thought I'd say, which was that maybe, just maybe, I kind of wish that Kendrick Lamar was a little bit more like Drake. That's right. That's right. I know. You can't believe it. Shit, I can't believe it either. You think I'm any more comfortable with this than you are? I know a lot of y'all sitting there judging me right now, and I understand where you're coming from. But do you think at all that I am any more comfortable with the idea that I'm asking for a dude who I think is dope and who I think can rap should be more like Drake? I'm not happy with this. God damn it, do you understand me right now? Do you understand? All right? All right. Here's why I said that, right? Now let me go back to the track listing on this record and make sure I got right what I'm trying to, do right now, what point I'm trying to make. Okay, so I'm listening to the record and I get to Poetic Justice. This is what I thought it was called. I get to Poetic Justice, all right? Yo, Drake jumps out the speakers. Like, I don't like the way that Drake carries it. I don't like the steez that he's forcing upon our youth. You know what I'm saying? I do not like encouraging all this suckerific behavior. I don't like any of that. But you can't tell me for a second that when Drake jumps on a track that you don't know he's there. And you can't tell me for a second that his voice does not come out of the speakers when he's on it. And don't say for a second that he doesn't hit every line to where you feel like, I have a problem with the emotion he says on that punk stuff. But when Drake is actually like coming to rap, like to for real rap, like tell me the punchlines don't hit. Try to tell me that. Try to tell me on that Drake track that you don't feel a different level of energy from him than you feel from Kendrick Lamar, right? That's not to say that Kendrick Lamar is in that way the entire record. Like the second half of the Backseat Freestyle joint, he rips it like he's in it and he goes. You know what I'm saying? But the dude just doesn't have it. He can really, 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 really rap. But there is an it to him that is unquestionably missing. And like for people who don't mind boring rappers, that's fine. I don't like boring rappers. And Kendrick Lamar is missing a bit of star quality. It's just not there. It's not. And no matter how technically good he is, and no matter how dope he can be in the rhyme scheme or whatever else, there's not an exciting thing about that album. And there are a lot of people who can deal with listening to music that doesn't excite them, and I'm just not that person. Not a hit it. That is my grand example all the time when I get into this discussion. Put it on the screen. Boom. Technically good is Talib Kweli. Technically good is Lupe Fiasco. Like, I've never said that any of those cats can't rap, but there's nothing about them that snatches me whatsoever. That's the same reason I bet that a whole lot of these people that are looking at me crazy and riding hard on this Kendrick Lamar record, raise your hand if you all about some Nas. Raise your hand if you all about some Nas. Oh, now I'm about to clown you. You should have known better than to say this bullshit. Guess what, people? Lyricism is not the be-all, end-all. What is it going to take for you people to realize that lyricism is not the be-all, end-all. I am not here to study. I am not here to get my learn on. All right? I am here, by and large, to be entertained. All right? I'm down to be invigorated. I'm down to learn some things. It's all good, whatever. But the technical proficiency of your writing is simply not enough. And you know how you know it's not enough? Because you guys know who I am. Here's what I mean by that. They'll put me on TV because of how smart I am. Let me tell you something. Being smart ain't nearly as helpful to getting on TV as you might think. All right? They put me on TV because of anything like that. You know how they put me on TV?